Hey 49er fans, before we start today's video, go ahead and drop a like. If you guys think the 49ers are going to go ahead and trade for Deshaun Watson, I mean, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but we'll talk more about Watson today on a Monday. There's some good stuff out here. Drop a like if you guys think the 49ers will go ahead and trade for Deshaun Watson. Now, today's 49ers video, of course, on a Monday is brought to you guys by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/49ers for 20% off your first order, plus free shipping. The link is down below in the description box. Okay, it's a Monday. News and rumors here for our 49ers, and there was some good stuff this weekend. I mean, stuff I like to see in terms of the 49ers, and let's start with the big one. Deshaun Watson's list. Yes, let's call it. Deshaun Watson has a short list. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler on ESPN over the weekend, he mentioned that Deshaun Watson has two teams he is very much interested in, and guess what? We're one of them. The 49ers are officially one of them. The other team, of course, is Denver. And this I think this probably increased the chances of the 49ers at least, potentially having a run at Deshaun Watson, as I'll explain here in a second. So let's start with Jeremy Fowler. This was his quote on Get Up just the other day, and he tweet here on Twitter. Quote, Deshaun Watson has a list of teams he's intrigued by. I didn't get all the teams, but I was told the Denver Broncos, San Francisco 49ers are two of them. I was told the Jets, probably not. How about that? Probably not. Listen, good news. I think this is good news for 49er fans in terms of being on a short list. Again, I talked about how Watson needs to go ahead and pick a team, more in that a little bit later on. And if he comes out and says, these are the teams I want to be traded to, that would go ahead and decrease the price, maybe even a little bit. And that could be enough for the 49ers to pull the trigger and make a trade. What do you guys think? Pin comment down below. How confident are you the 49ers will go ahead and land Deshaun Watson? If you give the video a thumbs up, maybe you type 10 down below the pin comment. But if it's less than that, let me know what it is down below the pin comment. Okay, now that leads us into the conflicting report that Jeremy Fowler has here in terms of Jimmy Garoppolo. So just because Watson wants to be traded does not mean that Watson will be traded to the team that we all want him to be, and that is the 49ers. So the Niners apparently have a backup plan, and that seems to be keeping Jimmy Garoppolo, which is what I've talked about probably happening for the past, 6 months to even 8 months. I mean, it's been a long time here. So Fowler reported Sunday it would take talent like Watson for San Francisco to move on from Jimmy G. And now that makes all the fans go, oh, what does that mean? It means very simply, if they're going to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, they're going to trade for Deshaun Watson, they'll trade away Jimmy Garoppolo. It's pretty simple. Now, Shanahan, again, John Lynch, consistently backed Jimmy Garoppolo. They've consistently said they're going to go ahead and keep him as a starting quarterback. But again, does that mean anything in the modern NFL? No, it means absolutely nothing. They say what they want to say until they don't need to say it anymore, and AKA they make a trade for Deshaun Watson, and then they would trade away Jimmy Garoppolo. Here was Fowler again, the 49er quarterback situation being the SportsCenter special on Sunday. Quote, I'm told San Francisco is looking at potential upgrades, but they still feel like Jimmy G. They still like Jimmy G. He's 24-9 as a starter, including the playoffs with the Niners. They believe they can win with him, but it would take a big swing like a Deshaun Watson effect here to make a change. So always a possibility, but the Texans have made very clear they're not willing to deal Watson right now. Garoppolo is still a viable option for San Francisco. Yes, again, this all is what we've been hearing and what makes sense. Let me just break it down for you. Very simple, right? Listen, come here. Listen to this. Watson needs to pick a team. He needs to come out and unequivocally say, I want to be a Bronco or a Niner. That would bring his trade price down. That would bring down the, 4 first-round draft picks and a player or whatever, at least a little bit. Because the Niners want Deshaun Watson. I think it's very well documented they're making a look at change. They're making a look at potentially making a change at quarterback. However, if they can pay a little bit less, they pull the trigger, and then what's the domino effect? As Fowler just said, they would go ahead and trade Jimmy Garoppolo. But they're confident in Garoppolo, and they still feel like they can win football games with Jimmy Garoppolo in 2021, and we should feel the same way as well. It would take a mega move, a cataclysmic move, to go ahead and move Deshaun Watson, and if that were the case, and it happens, he comes to San Francisco, then obviously you trade away Jimmy Garoppolo, and yes, the Patriots, we keep hearing, is probably going to be the team that make a run at him, but you got to get to that point, because they won't just trade Watson or trade Jimmy Garoppolo without having, as Fowler said, a monumental change like a Deshaun Watson. Like, they're not going to trade Garoppolo and then draft a quarterback. That's not going to happen, okay? It would be Garoppolo or Watson or nothing, essentially, is how you can view the 49ers quarterback situation. Now, my former boss, Nick Wright, yes, I was an intern on First Things First on FS1 back in my college years. So, 2018, I lived in New York City and worked on First Things First. Got a couple shout-outs. You can go back and watch the film. I mean, it was fun with Nick and Chris Carter. No longer Chris Carter, but Nick Wright and Chris Carter. And Nick Wright got some flack this past week when he proposed a 4-team mega trade, like an NBA-style trade, in which would end the 49ers go ahead and get Deshaun Watson. Now, this trade, which I'll show you in a second, involves 49ers, Seattle, the Texans, and the Jets. It involves Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, and even Nick Bosa. I mean, this is a crazy 4-team trade that would never happen ever. It's kind of fun to talk about, and we'll explain it here in just one second. Before I show you the trade, though, Manscaped is, of course, the sponsor for today's video. Go to manscaped.com/49ers for 20% off plus free shipping on your first order, where you can pick up the perfect package, which is packages. To me, the perfect packages that you need to go ahead for all of your grooming needs. The Lawnmower 3.0, the 8-hour battery life. You can use it in the shower like I do with a light on it. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Get the boxers, the briefs, the bag, and then go ahead and get the toner and the deodorant as well. Again, manscaped.com/49ers, the link you need. 20% off plus free shipping on your entire order. Link is down below in the description box. So you asked for it. Here's the mock trade. Okay, I'm going to split it between two graphics because there's so much to go on here. So the Texans would get Sam Darnold, a 2021 second and number 34 overall via the Jets, number 12 overall from San Francisco, and a 2022 first from the Jets. So they're getting 2 first-round draft picks, and they're also getting 2 second-round draft picks and Sam Darnold. The Jets, well, they get Russell Wilson in this deal, which is bizarre, but as we've heard, rumors of Russell Wilson being a little upset. I don't think he's going to be traded, but still, this is Nick Wright's idea. The Seahawks would get Jimmy G, Nick Bosa, a 2021 first, and a 2020 second first, one of which is San Francisco's, the other is the Jets. And the Niners and all of this get Deshaun Watson. So essentially, the Niners would lose 2 first-round draft picks, and they would go ahead and lose Nick Bosa, and they would get Deshaun Watson. So that would bring down the price of Deshaun Watson, rumoredly to be, 3 first-round draft picks and a player, but they'd have to give up Nick Bosa to go ahead and do it. Now, what do you guys think? I mean, literally, this is crazy stuff. Grade this trade for the 49ers. If this was actually going to happen, the 4-team trade you just saw on your screen, would the Niners win? Would they get an A, B, C, D, F? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. Listen, first off, the one reason why this would never happen is the 49ers and Seahawks will never make a trade. I mean, never. I saw an NBC Sports Bay Area post talking about the odds of Russell Wilson becoming a 49er, and it's like, oh, is that news? No, the Seahawks would never give Russell Wilson in the division. They would never do any sort of trade in the division that might have an outcome of the 49ers winning out in a trade, because that looks terrible. It would just never, ever, ever happen. Now, getting involved with other teams in terms like the Jets, the Texans, and the 49ers to get Deshaun Watson away and Sam Darnold and draft picks, yeah, I think that's a real possibility. It might be what it takes to move a player of the caliber of Deshaun Watson. 4-team trades are fun, and again, Nick Wright's trying to make a scenario where everybody wins, but he overlooks the fact that the Seahawks and 49ers, even though they're not necessarily giving each other just, Watson and give each other Wilson and draft picks and Bosa, putting Nick Bosa on the Seattle Seahawks would just be something that would never happen. It would never happen. So fun, but sorry, old boss man, it's just not going to happen overall. Again, if it were to happen, then we would cover it here. I'm telling you guys, make sure you guys are subscribed to 49ers Report, the, of course, big red subscribe button down below, and click the notification bell. Live Q&As happen every Thursday. Subscribers get their questions answered, so be sure to stay tuned for that. All right, final thing here. I got DM'd a lot about this over the weekend, so I'll mention it here. J.J. Watt, does he make sense as being a 49er? He was released by the Houston Texans on Friday. As reported, 9+ teams are interested. We don't know if the Niners are officially one of those teams, so I asked you guys, should the 49ers consider J.J. Watt? Matt from NBC Sports Bay Area, he was asked about J.J. Watt for the 49ers, and he gives kind of the answer that I agree, right? 49ers don't even really want consideration among the teams that could be interested in Watt. He's soon to be 32. He's missed most of 3 of the past 5 seasons with injuries. If you disagree, if you want J.J. Watt, give the video a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section as well. But thumbs up if you guys want to go ahead and keep J.J. Watt. I'll honestly echo NBC Sports Bay Area and Matt Mayoko here with his quote. Listen, is Watt fantastic? Yes. Could he benefit the 49er defensive line? Yes. But is he going to be, 1, too expensive, and 2, too unknown? I mean, the guy's 32 years old. He's had a couple of major surgeries, including back surgery, and hasn't had more than 5 sacks each of the last 2 years. Now, 2018, he had 16 sacks, but he was injured in 2017 and 2019, and then he just didn't seem himself in 2020. So it's a big risk. It's kind of a high-risk, low-reward, like how much you can actually go ahead and get out of him. If you could guarantee me 16 games and the J.J. Watt of old, I'm all over this. But you can't guarantee me 16 games in the J.J. Watt of old, and that's why I would stay away, as the Niners have bigger needs at re-signing their own cornerbacks and re-signing Trent Williams. That's the focus right now. You're focused on signing your own guys because the team is already stacked and already built very, very well. You get Nick Bosa back from the knee injury, and then you maybe explore a scenario where Watt would have to want to come to San Francisco, which maybe he does, right? You want to play for a winner, play alongside Nick Bosa, get a ton of one-on-ones, and play for a team that's going to go to the playoffs next year, then sure, come to San Francisco. Makes a ton of sense inside the NFC. However, I think Pittsburgh makes more sense in terms of just, playing with his brothers. I think the Green Bay Packers could be a real possibility. They say Cleveland has all the money in the world, so does he want money? Does he want to play with his brothers? Does he want to win? Those are your 3 options there, and if he wants to win, then maybe San Francisco is a viable option, but for the price that we expect J.J. Watt to go ahead and cost, and it's not going to be cheap. I mean, I really do not think it is going to go ahead and be cheap, but I do think it is going to be a scenario where the Niners could make a phone call, but in the end, probably, stay out of the J.J. Watt running, which is fine because, again, you re-sign Kerry Hyder, maybe you draft somebody. I think the D-line is going to be in just fine spot and in good hands overall. There you go. How about that? The Nick Wright trade was fun today. I mean, we gotta bring that up. But the short list for Deshaun Watson, that's interesting. Potentially keeping Jimmy Garoppolo, we mentioned that, and then J.J. Watt, gotta discuss it here on the channel as well. Ultimately, for today here in the 49ers Report, I am your host, Thomas Mott, as we go ahead and sign out. Let's enjoy the rest of your Monday. It's cold in some places of America, so stay safe when you're driving as well. See you guys in the next video.